Welcome back to the Ed Goose Weekford Sportscast here during the coronavirus pandemic. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Goose, and joined with me once again up there in northern cold Leicester.
It's not actually that cold, you know. It's me.
Isn't it?
I'm back. No, it's nice and warm.
Doing pretty well. Well, it's not the most conventional way to do this, but obviously the coronavirus pandemic has cut our access to the facility short.
Desperate
So
times.
basically, we're having to discuss the NFL news like this over webcam.
Which, you know, it's not ideal, but you know, you've got to do what you've got to do.
We're right in the thick of the NFL offseason. The NFL draft coming up. Looks like that's going to go ahead, which is a massive positive for me and you, who absolutely love the draft.
Thank God.
But we'll be discussing all things NFL today.
I think we're going to be thinking more looking at the NFL free agents. There's obviously free agency. The new league season started without any sort of delay, so people could sign wherever they wanted, and there's been numerous big signings, I think.
I do want to get heavily into the Tom Brady move in a bit, but we'll give some airtime to everyone else.
Yeah,
we'll give everyone else attention.
Talk about everyone else. Yeah, it's not all about TB12.
Ooh, that's a big claim.
Yeah. So starting off, what should we talk about first? Should we start with a few of the quarterbacks that have signed?
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea.
So we'll start off with one that's maybe not so. It's probably quite big for you, but not so big for everyone else. Teddy Bridgewater signing with your Carolina Panthers. Contract 3 years, 63 mil. Good fit, bad fit?
He's a good quarterback, and I like Teddy Bridgewater. I just don't see the point. I think if you're Carolina, you're in a state where you're not going to win many games this year in a really good division that's just added Tom Brady, for goodness sake. I think you got, in this instance, tank for a franchise quarterback. There's 2 coming out of college this year, which are excellent options. I don't think this Panthers team is going to make the playoffs at all. And you've given Teddy Bridgewater 3 years and upwards of $60 million effectively to lose games.
Whoa.
I don't think they're going to be competitive. And I'd rather just have Cam Newton for a year, eat the salary, and then let him go at the end of the year. Well, who knows? Cam might come back to MVP form, or he probably won't. But it's better than giving somebody 3 years to probably not win a lot of games.
Yeah, that's the thing. The other part of the whole Carolina deal was Cam Newton getting released. They said he could seek a trade, and then they released him. He had a few choice words on Instagram about that, I think, saying they pretty much kicked him out. But, you know, hey, it's time to move on from Cam Newton. I say it's a pretty good fit for Teddy Bridgewater in Carolina. I don't know how many games they're going to win, but, you know, 5-0 as a starter last year for my New Orleans Saints. So, I mean, you're picking up a decent quarterback at a decent price as well. So we'll see what happens.
Look, don't get me wrong. Teddy's a really good quarterback and a really good game manager. And I would have absolutely loved this move a year ago. I don't think the time's right now. I think you let somebody else or Kyle Allen ride the season out and get a top pick. Or let Cam ride it out. You don't need to give somebody 3 years, because that implies if they do terribly this year, they're not going to take a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because they got Teddy for 2 more years afterwards, paying him $20 million each year.
Not ideal.
It's a good move for Teddy, and it would have been a great move for Carolina a year ago, but now it's not the time. Although I do like Teddy Bridgewater. They're going to win some games now, which I don't think they should be doing. I don't think that should be their plan.
I think with a new coach, I think they've probably looked to get sort of guy who's obviously quite experienced in the league that can hopefully adjust to the new system quite quickly. So I think Teddy will probably do that quite well.
Yeah, I think the introduction of Matt Rule into his first NFL job, it's probably best that he got a quarterback to sort of learn with. And Teddy is somebody who's been around the league.
Yeah.
He's not going to blow you away, but he is a competent starter. And I think for Matt Rule's first couple of years in the league, he'll be a steady option.
Yeah.
Under center for Carolina.
Onto the big one, I think Tom Brady to Tampa Bay, something that maybe not everyone expected. Everyone was looking at maybe the Raiders or the Chargers, but obviously he's ended up staying on the East Coast and going to Tampa. 2 years, 50 million. What do you think about that? Good fit, bad fit?
I think it's a good fit. Bruce Arians, head coach, has been around for a long time. Bit of a defensive masterclass at head coach. And Tom Brady will be going to a team with a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, Godwin.
Yeah.
A decent O-line. Not the best, but they can build on that. And when you look at the other options where he could have gone, I mean, LA Chargers were a good fit with a lot of good weapons. But apart from those two places, where else could he have gone? So I think of the options he had, and he gets to live in tax-free Florida, income tax-free Florida, and gets that nice sunny weather for a 43-year-old quarterback who's lived in the cold, harsh Northeast for 20 years. Sure, give that guy a holiday.
I'm pretty sure his part of the decision was being closer to where his family's home is, which is New York, because they obviously live.
A 2-hour flight.
Yeah, it's only a 2-hour flight. For me, I think it's a good fit for Brady, but maybe not so much for Tampa Bay, because in 2 years they're going to be back looking for another quarterback again.
Yeah,
that's the only downside with that move, I think, for me. Who else is there? We've got Philip Rivers, 1 year, 25 mil to the Colts. How do you think about
that? I'll let you answer this one first, because I'm mixed on this one. I could go on for a long time about Philip Rivers.
Honestly, don't see the point, to be honest. I don't know why they're spending 25 mil on Philip Rivers, who last year was just throwing the ball up interception city. I guess it's a bit of a better fit for him because the O-line in Indianapolis is a lot better than it was for the Chargers last year. But they've also got Jacoby Brissett, who was, first few games last year was kind of dominating. So for me, it's probably, I don't know, it's just a weird decision from the Colts to bring him in. But I bet Rivers is buzzing because he gets to play another paid plenty of money.
Yeah, for an old and aging quarterback, he gets to play in a division which has some truly dreadful teams. Yeah. He gets to play partially indoors. He, goes to a team, as you mentioned, with a really good offensive line, some decent weapons on the outside. T.Y. Hilton's been around the league for a while. He knows what he's doing. But I agree. Was it 25 million? Yeah. That is a lot of money to give somebody that old and that somebody who has been unproductive the last couple of years.
I mean, it's only a year, so it's just like it's a rental kind of thing, isn't it? Maybe they're one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's not. If they keep Philip Rivers past this year or next year, I'd be very shocked because the guy will probably retire soon.
I mean, I don't know if they're in that kind of, the Colts are in that kind of bracket looking for Trevor Lawrence, but with this kind of signing, it does suggest that they're probably looking to tank. Really,
I feel like the Colts are in a. You think they're going to tank?
Well, maybe not tank, but they're not going to exactly do very well with Rivers, are they?
I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're favourites to go anywhere this year and do great things. But I think they're sort of in a win now mentality. Hence why this signing has happened. I feel like they could try and make a push for a wild card, definitely in a division which has just lost DeAndre Hopkins. The Jaguars are a mess, and the Titans might not be as good next year with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
You don't think they'd have a better chance with Jacoby Brissett, who already knows kind of the system, how they play, and I mean he did really well last year.
He did do well, but Philip Rivers, he's got a much higher ceiling than Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, he's on the way down, isn't he? Oh well.
He's on the way down, but his ceiling's much higher. And if he hasn't had a truly good offensive line basically his whole career, and he hasn't largely been helped until a couple of years ago when the Chargers started drafting wide receivers. Yeah. Give him those weapons in Indianapolis. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a push for a wild card spot.
Okay, well, that's different opinions. That's all good.
That's the great thing about Sportscast, baby.
So. How do you feel about Drew Brees returning to the Saints for 2 years, 25 mil, same contract as Brady, same division now? How do we feel about that?
Well, as a Panthers fan, I hate it.
Yeah.
Because Drew's been a bit of a arch nemesis for us in the last few years.
It's 41.
And I mean longer than that. The guy's been around for an eternity. Yeah, I do like the. I think moving off from Drew Brees would have been the wrong decision for New Orleans, definitely. Sean Payton will be back with him after Sean Payton's recovered from the coronavirus.
Yeah. Thank God.
One of the first big names in America who got it, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, that we know of.
Yeah, sending all our wishes over to our friends in the States. But Drew Brees, Mike Thomas, Sean Payton,
Alvin Kamara.
the three musketeers. No, Alvin Kamara's not in that bracket, baby. Alvin Kamara's not in that bracket. He's now the third best running back in the NFC South behind Christian McCaffrey and Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, are you mad? He's got no knees.
Knew that'd get some attention.
He's got no knees.
Oh, when he's got knees. That medical team in Atlanta's pretty darn
How
good.
do you
I think they're going to get. My sources
can they fix arthritis? Can they?
I've seen some pretty incredible things that happen in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, well, that's hard spread. Yeah.
Back on Drew Brees, I think it's the only way they could have gone. If you replace Drew Brees with anyone else that was available, who are you going to replace him with realistically? Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota? Not for me. You go with Drew Brees.
Yeah.
He's old, but he's productive. He didn't have a bad year last year. He was still good.
Mate. He was just injured.
He was still good. He's old and immobile.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
Those legs are withering.
I love it when he tries to scramble out of the pocket.
Oh, so cute!
Sack from behind. Oh well.
What's your thoughts on as a Saints fan?
I mean, I'm very happy about it. Obviously, Saints. He is my hero, my golden man. He can do no wrong in my eyes. But I'm just worried about what the future holds at the quarterback position for the Saints, because there's lots of talk about Taysom Hill being this special thing, and I'm just like, no, stop, please stop. He's really not good. Yeah. He barely throws.
He wanted a multi-year contract up to like 30 million, didn't he? He wanted to be paid like a franchise quarterback when the guy was terrible at college.
You're literally a special teams player, mate. Be quiet.
Give him a bit of. Well, he's got to get paid now in his career, doesn't he? Because realistically, like, when is there going to be a better opportunity?
I swear.
When Drew Brees retires, he's not going to get the start.
He won't be our quarterback when Drew Brees retires. No chance.
No. He wanted to be paid like a starting franchise quarterback.
Taking the mick, that isn't it? Really?
Yeah, hey, that is a joke.
But yeah, I'm very happy that Drew's back. Just see what happens in the future. Obviously, he's very old, same as Brady.
Yeah.
The last one I want to talk about, the last kind of quarterback, is Mariota going to the Raiders.
Yeah. I like Marcus Mariota. Yeah. He's won playoff games. Remember, I think it was only 2 years ago, 3 years ago, rather, he won a playoff game at the Chiefs.
Yeah,
he beat Andy Reid and Alex Smith a couple of years ago with a very mediocre team when Derrick Henry was not the Derrick Henry we know now.
Yeah. I mean, he threw a touchdown to himself, so I mean, he's pretty special.
He threw a touchdown to himself. I like Marcus Mariota, but was there that big a pressing need, especially with Derek Carr there with a massive contract?
No, I think
unless they're willing to move off Derek Carr, which now it looks like they're not going to.
No, I think it was just a backup now, really, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I think that's sort of a similar role Cam Newton needs to embrace, to be honest with you.
No chance he's going to embrace that. Ego needs to
But Marcus Mariota was a pretty decent starting quarterback at one time, and he's had to sort of swallow his pride and take the backup role to get back into a starting job in the league. I don't know what John Gruden's plan here is, whether because it's no secret he's not the biggest fan of Derek Carr.
Yeah.
He likes big arm quarterbacks that like to gunsling it down the field, and Derek Carr is accurate, but he's definitely not that. Marcus Mariota is a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
He scrambles around. He's quick. He can throw it. He's not scared to throw interceptions and throw it deep. Yeah, Raiders are in a strange place moving to Las Vegas. I'm not quite sure what the direction of this team is, which I feel like they need to have one, especially moving into a big market like Las Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if the league even gets started this year, but he is maybe someone they could use as like a gadget quarterback, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if they're planning to run some read options and triple options, quarterback runs, Oh, subbing that Hawaiian ball.
Think about Marcus Mariota and Josh Jacobs. Oh, that's a mean comp.
I like that. I like
That's
that.
a mean option.
I mean, I've made it known in previous sportscasts. I'm a big fan of Marcus Mariota.
Oh, yeah.
My scouts at Oregon said, the arm isn't quite there yet, but he moves around.
Scouts.
These are my scouts.
Oh yeah, your eyes. Yeah.
They told me everything I need to know about Marcus Mariota, and I liked what I saw. So he's even from Hawaii.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is from Hawaii. I'm glad I got that right, and I didn't just call him Hawaiian for no reason.
Well, it's the two 2015 quarterbacks, first and second pick overall. Now, kind of like Jameis hasn't even got a job. Mario,
a
backup. So they're kind of like
a tragic draft
class. They call them busts.
Yeah, no, definitely. You don't take somebody number one just to not give him if he doesn't end up being a franchise guy, he's a bust at number one. If you picked a quarterback at number 15 and it didn't work out, that's not a bust.
He's not even got a team. Like
he doesn't have a team.
What's he doing?
That boy needs to go to the XFL.
Imagine if we see him in the XFL. Oh my god. Okay, so I think a few more kind of big people we need to talk about. I'm thinking we can discuss Miami's dealings in this offseason because they've been very active.
Yeah, they are.
Cornerback Byron Jones, 5 years, $82 million to pair alongside Xavier Howard, that's probably one of the best cornerback pairings in the league, in my opinion. So, their two cornerbacks are taking them a hell of a lot of cap, but if they shut down opposing offenses, then that's a good thing. They also signed Shaq Lawson, 3 years, $30 million, so that's a pretty good signing. How do we feel about the Miami's off-season so far? And also, first-round picks, haven't they? So,
yes, 6 picks, I believe, in the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft. Obviously, last season they traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick for a first, so they needed help in the secondary. They've replaced it with one of the best cornerbacks in the league in Byron Jones. And that pairing is going to be with Howard. It's going to be really good in an NFC in an AFC East division that's lost Tom Brady, and the quarterbacks are Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, probably Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah,
they're going to eat those guys alive. So replacing Minkah was a big need. They also signed Carl Van Noy.
Yeah, Carl Van Noy. Yeah,
from New England Patriots. So helping out that young linebacking core with McMillan and
what's his name?
Jerome Baker. Some really young guys. They're probably going to draft Tua as well, and they're going to build around Tua on that offense with the other first-round picks. Likely, they might be able to draft a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So overall, this team's looking a lot better than it was a year ago.
A hell of a lot better, yeah. And they've got rid of. They got rid of big contracts last year that they maybe didn't want to have on the books, and then brought in players that they actually want, well, the coaches want anyway. This offseason, so they've done very well.
That's one thing which, although Miami have been a dreadful organisation and team the last few years, it's Miami. People are going to want to play there and going to want to live there.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's really attractive for free agents like Byron Jones, who really would have had all 32 NFL teams would have wanted Byron Jones to join their team. He's that talented. So for Miami to pick up somebody as good as that, that's a really impressive coup. And he's going to help their team massively. All those signings, with Lawson as well, it's going to help them out massively.
Yeah, no doubt. Maybe in the draft, obviously those 3 players we spoke about are all defensive players. Maybe in the draft they go more offensive-wise, maybe get a tackle, quarterback, as you said.
I think they need to, yeah.
And then maybe running back with their last picks in the draft, maybe running back or, who knows, wide receiver, something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they went to an offensive line and a running back like Taylor.
Yeah, that would probably, in my opinion, put them maybe number 1 spot in the division. Or maybe
I think they would definitely be close with Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, you can never
an amazing turnaround.
Yeah, you can never really rule out Belichick, but the signings made have made them pretty damn good, to be honest.
Well, it'll be a very young athletic team with a second-year head coach in Brian Flores. So I think they got a good chance of winning that division, to be honest, which I can't believe I've just said that.
Definitely. Let's talk about one of the most disappointing teams from last year, which was Cleveland. They've done kind of necessary business this offseason. They've signed maybe the best right tackle available, Jack Conklin, for a deal of 3 years, 42 million, and also signed tight end Austin Hooper from Atlanta, 4 years, 42 million. I think they're two. I mean, maybe not the tight ends so needed, but he brings another weapon for Baker Mayfield. But addressing the tackle position, which they probably will address in their draft as well, with getting a left tackle, that's obviously filling a massive need for them.
Well, I mentioned it countless times on Radio Sonar. Yeah. The tackles and the offensive line was Cleveland's biggest faults last season. You had Baker Mayfield running around when he's not that athletic of a quarterback. Again, I would have given Freddie Kitchens was a shocking head coach, but I would have given him another year.
Yeah,
just because now they've created that sort of culture and image about the team that any head coach that goes there is really on borrowed time.
Yeah.
They're going to get sacked if they don't perform at the end of the season. And to be honest, the Browns are an unpredictable franchise and team. Baker Mayfield is an unpredictable quarterback. You don't know if you're getting a top-class, talented guy, which we know he can be, or if we're guessing somebody who's going to be a bit of a train wreck.
Yeah, obviously they got rid of Kitchens in there, and they've hired Kevin Stefanski. I think he was the Vikings coordinator. Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen with that? But
I like the addition of Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
I like the addition of Austin Hooper, but they've overpaid for him in a position where they've already had David Njoku and other good guys. They've already got a good receiving core as well for Baker to throw to. Did they really need Hooper?
You think about the amount they run the ball with Nick Chubb. He's obviously a good blocker as well as a good pass catcher. So that might have been what they were kind of looking at.
Of course, yeah.
And also with David Njoku coming back from an injury, you never know what to expect, really.
You never know, especially with tight ends.
Yeah, definitely.
Big guys who rely on a lot of strength and power.
One deal that kind of surprised me a bit was Robert Quinn getting signed by the Chicago Bears, 5 years, $70 million. Put him on the opposite end from Khalil Mack. He had double-digit sacks last year for the Cowboys, which I didn't even know. So when I saw him get this deal, it was kind of a shock to me. But I thought, what do you think about it?
Well, he's a guy that's been around for a long time. Robert Quinn. He's been productive for a long time. Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys front seven and pass rush game last year wasn't great. It was one of the weaker parts of their lineup. Obviously, they have people like Randy Gregory who can't stop getting suspended, and DeMarcus Lawrence. But yeah, Robert Quinn, I think it's a good fit for Chicago. Yeah. They get to pair with Khalil Mack. They can push Leonard Floyd back into a true linebacker position with Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
They keep their offensive line intact. Akeem Hicks and Eddie Goldman in the interior. Yeah, I think Chicago are in good stead to be a really good team this year defensively, which is something they've always been known for. Is their defensive output. Matt Nagy as head coach. It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
That's my only issue with this deal. It's a good commitment of money.
5 years for a guy who's 29 already.
It's a big commitment, and it's a contract which they may look back in a few years, even 2 years, and think that's really hit our cap hard in an area where there's a lot of guys who can fill those needs and do a competent job.
Yeah. Also, they traded for Nick Foles as well.
Compete with. That's also a massive cap hit.
To compete with Assume. So looking back on that kind of Trubisky experiment didn't really work. Trading up one spot to get him. Yeah. He's just not been what they hoped him to be. Now bringing Nick Foles, maybe that will kind of inspire him to play a bit better. But with this whole situation we're in, there's not much chance of training camp actually happening.
Do they still have Mike Glennon on their books?
I don't know, mate.
They signed Mike Glennon to a big contract. So if that is true, they got 3 backup quarterbacks on their team.
I feel like he might have got traded to the Raiders or something.
I think he did as well, to be honest.
I remember seeing him on Hard Knocks.
He'll be out of the league in 2 years anyway. So,
who else can we talk about?
Speaking of the Cowboys, Alden Smith, 1 year, $4 million. Now, this is a guy who had the most sacks in his first 2 years. He had the third most sacks ever in his first 2 seasons in the league. Now, you think the amount of incredible pass rushers that have played in the NFL.
Yeah.
It just tells you how much of a beast this guy was. This guy was a monster. And then the off-the-field issues came. He got chance after chance, went to the Raiders, started the season well with them, paired with Khalil Mack when he was an Oakland Raider, then got suspended again. He's been out of the league basically for 4 seasons.
Yeah, mental.
And they've given him $4 million buckaroonies.
I think it's $2 million incentives.
$2 million guaranteed, I think, and then $2 million performance and playing base incentives.
So,
if this guy plays like he used to, Dallas have got an absolute steal, and he's going to take this defense from a B+ to an A+. I'm not joking when I say that. This guy, when he was at his prime, was unbelievable. But can he stay healthy, and can he stay in the league? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the main problem with him. His performance is not the issue. It's the off-field issues, really, that's kind of holding you back on him. But, we'll see. It all depends on what happens this year. But they definitely needed some sort of extra pass rush, really, alongside DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, it's just strange they looked at somebody who hasn't played the league since 2016 to do something.
Maybe they'll bring in someone in the draft as well.
Perhaps.
I want to talk about a signing that's kind of underrated for me, is the Jacksonville Jaguars signing Joe Schobert for 5 years, $53 million. Joe Schobert, the Browns, absolute tackling machine.
Yeah, he's a really good linebacker and a tackling machine, but again, it's a long-term contract for a team that's already got some all right linebackers like Miles Jack. Sure. I just see there's too many needs on this team, too many important needs to be paying that much money to a middle linebacker.
He's a Pro Bowler, mate.
He's a Pro Bowler, but there's too much to do here. Too much to rebuild, and you're giving that money to a linebacker.
It's only like $10 million a year.
Still, that's a lot of money for somebody who's, 27, 28 now? 26, 27, I can remember. I don't like the deal personally. I feel like there's a lot of linebackers in the league you could have used to plug that hole with less money and less of a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
And I think Jacksonville's in a position where they need to be bad to get a quarterback. Gardner Minshew's not the one.
He definitely is, mate.
He's not the one. Gardner Minshew is not going to win you many games in this league. I don't care what he was last year. It was that rookie luck.
You think he's going to have that sophomore slump?
Absolutely.
No
With that team, that boy is getting that team's getting a top 3 pick.
Probably. Right, one that's quite important to me. Malcolm Jenkins coming back to the Saints. The only problem with this deal, I think it's 4 years.
Oh,
yeah, he's already 32, isn't he?
Yeah, that is a tragedy. That's tragic.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Couldn't
be my team. No, couldn't be.
It's good he's coming back. I'm very happy that he's come back. He's still a good player, and he's still got some legs left in the old boy. And we lost Von Bell as well, who's gone to Cincinnati. So I'm quite happy with that. Happy with the signing, just not quite happy with the length of the contract.
Yeah, look, Malcolm Jenkins has been a really good safety. Yeah. I'm not sure how good he'll play at 32, but if the guy can still hit people like he used to, he'll have no problem finding a place in this team.
Definitely.
Long-term contract for the 32-year-old who's really been declining. Yeah. He's a leader, though, and he's got a spine. Unlike a lot of that Saints defense.
What do you mean?
I mean, are we going to really talk about Marcus Williams' botched
He can't tackle. He can't tackle. That's his only problem.
that defense needs that last piece to help them over that playoff
We
hurdle.
need a linebacker, mate. We should have signed Joe Show, but
Yeah, but Malcolm Jenkins is the type of safety that can play in the box. Realistically, he's big, he's athletic.
well, I sure hope so.
He's just getting on, and he hits hard. So he needs, pick up a linebacker in the draft.
Yeah.
Marcus Davenport is not the one. I'm sorry.
We still can't believe we did that. I thought we were drafting Jackson there.
I thought you were too.
And everyone's like, it's Lamar. It's going to be Lamar. And then one guy's like, no, we're going to be Marcus Davenport. And I was like, oh. Traded 2 first-round picks. Anyway. Yeah, so...
We don't talk about that
draft. We don't talk about that draft. Ghetto draft, we call it. I want to talk about really is Jamie Collins to Detroit. 3 years, 30 mil. Good value, good fit.
Terrible value, terrible fit.
Really?
30 million for Jamie Collins, a guy that only a couple of seasons ago was very average on the Cleveland Browns. Belichick brought him back, and he's sort of excelled again in Belichick's system like he did before he went to Cleveland. Yeah. Guess what? It'll be the same result this time. He might play a bit better because he knows Matt Patricia from his time in New England. It's the same system, but is it really?
It's not quite. Not quite the same result.
It's not quite. It's going to record to tell me that's the same. It's a lot of money and a long-term commitment for a guy who's getting up in the numbers and age. I feel like the Lions need to tank, and I don't know why they've got so many holes to plug. Matt Stafford's not the one. He's not the quarterback to take them anywhere. He's getting on. No, absolutely not. And this is a former number 1 pick that hasn't won a playoff game
because he's got an absolute cannon.
A lot of quarterbacks have a cannon.
Yeah, but he's got.
He's not the guy to take them to that next level, which the Lions fans have been begging for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I don't like the fit. I think Jamie Collins would have fit better staying in New England. Whether they were going to give him the money, don't know.
Yeah.
But for him, it's a lot of money and it's a security in a deal. For the Lions, it's a really poor move, in my honest opinion.
Yeah. Anyone else you want to highlight? Any other signings you want to talk about before we go?
So one I do want to talk about is Todd Gurley going to replace Devontae Freeman on the Atlanta Falcons. What's your thoughts on this? Because I actually like the move. I think Todd Gurley can get back to where he was at one point in his career.
Great to see him going back to Atlanta, going back to Georgia. Where he played his college ball. But the only thing that I see kind of weighing him down is those knees. How are them knees feeling? That arthritis got.
But home comforts can help those aging.
I hope so. For the Atlanta's sake. They're getting him on the cheap, so that's pretty good. And Devontae Freeman's obviously gone now. He's also a free agent. So they needed someone to replace him, and why not bring back a local hero?
Yeah, I think this is a deal which has a really high ceiling. If Todd Gurley gets back to where he was in his sort of peak, and if he can stay healthy, this NFC South is looking really stacked if that happens.
It's not like they're paying him.
Apart from one team, my team.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't talk about that. It's fine though. They're not paying him as much as he was on at the Rams. So
absolutely.
They're kind of blessed in that way.
That's why I think this deal's not that bad.
It's not at all. Because it depends on how you get him playing. If you get him at his best, then it's worth it. And even if you get him like half his best, it's probably still worth it. So it was a kind of a win-win situation for the Falcons, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Ed Goose Wakeford Sportscast. We discussed some of the big free agency signings in the NFL, and next up is going to be the draft. You've got to be excited for that.
So excited, man. Hopefully we'll get a cheeky mock draft video out before the draft starts.
Of course, and we could even watch it together and film our reactions and get it out if that's what people are interested in.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
So anyway, this has been the Ed Goose Wakeford Sportscast. We hope you stay safe and stay healthy in this lockdown. I've been Daniel. Stay at home. I've been Daniel Ed Goose. Joining me.
Wakeford. Thank you everyone for watching.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye bye.